While the story is great and what happened yesterday was really cool for people who have not maybe seen that video, I would encourage them to watch it. I just am a little concerned that, again, too much too soon.
Let's hit the inside scoop with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. It's presented by Homage. Legends never die. I'm wearing one of their shirts. Are you okay with this mascot race that the Mets are rolling out there? Because I don't get to comment much on something that I actually feel like I have a say in. But I'm a fan. They're former players. This is fun. I've brought people to games that don't know a lick about baseball, and they like that part of it.
They do like that part. I don't have a problem with it. I understand where Todd is coming from. My favorite part of that whole exchange was the Heyman tweet about the subway finishing last. If you're from New York or if you've lived in New York for any stretch of time, that resonates.
Of course.
And we know the subway's not always going to finish last, but John, that's his best tweet in a while.
Let's start with your article on Cal Raleigh. What did you think of this extension for both him and for the Mariners side?
Win-win. And it's rare when you hear of an extension that, from the player's perspective, is considered really good. And yet the reaction I heard yesterday from the player's side, some different people, was this is a really strong number for him, 105 over 6 years. And as I wrote in the article, in the 3 years, the first 3 years, which would have been the ARB years, he's over where he would have been. And in the free agent years, he's at pretty much record levels for a catcher. So he did really well. And from the Mariners' perspective, yes, it's a lot of money. Yes, they needed a win. They didn't do much at all this offseason. He is a guy who is willing to play there and wants to be there. He took a no-trade clause in this deal. And he also is kind of the center of what they do. They are built around their starting pitching, in particular the pitching in general. And this guy is everything you would want as a catcher. He's a homegrown star. He plays all the time, most games played as a catcher the last 3 years, most home runs as a catcher in the last 3 years, and his defensive metrics are outstanding. So from that perspective, that's why I say win-win.
Alejandro Kirk's contract extension just came out the other day. Both of these guys value. There's a lot of value. Obviously, way more value for Cal is in receiving. Have you heard anything since these newly minted contracts came out that teams would be like, I don't know, that value is going to go down when the ABS system comes in, even though they're still going to be able to, it's not every pitch is challenged.
There is some question about whether catchers will be valued quite the same way once ABS with the challenge system is in place. Now, framing is still going to be important. It might not be quite as important because, of course, you'll have the ability to challenge, but you can't challenge every pitch. And as long as we're in a situation where it's not full robo-ump, right, where every pitch is called by ABS, then framing will still be a skill that is valued. But when I asked about this yesterday relative to Raleigh, who was the second best framer in baseball last year, the answer I got was, yeah, that's part of it. But, Eric, I don't need to tell you. Receiving, catching, blocking, throwing, preparation, game calling, all of these things are part of what a catcher does and varying degrees of importance. So framing is not insignificant. We've learned that over the years, but it's not the whole deal either.
Ken, do you feel like there's a chance they could give him a C on his chest? I don't know if the Mariners have ever done that. He just feels like that kind of guy.
He does. Now, I did not ask about that. I have not heard much talk about that, and I don't know what the Mariners' history is with putting a C on a player's chest, but he is that guy, and he certainly is the center of what they do. A catcher, of course, Eric, as you know, is often a leader, and he is that. He also is kind of a model player in his work ethic and all of that. So if they were ever going to do it, he would be someone who would be certainly a candidate for that.
Moving forward here, Cam Smith making the team. What a really, really cool thing they did down there for him, bringing the family in. I think that's really exciting. Talk a little bit about that and what you look forward to seeing out of him this year.
This is one of the most fascinating stories of the season for me. This kid was drafted last year, and now they're asking him to play a new position in the major leagues because they feel his bat is that good. The other layer with Cam Smith is, of course, he was the centerpiece of the Kyle Tucker trade. So Cubs fans are already freaking out, saying, why did we trade this guy? He's breaking with the Astros this year. But let's see how this plays out, because I'm a little concerned that this is too much too soon, particularly on the defensive end. And as you guys know, yes, there are some players who are gifted enough basically to walk right into the big leagues, and maybe Cam Smith is one of them. But the sport is so difficult that it almost seems to me this is too quick. Now, we'll see. And I'm really excited to see him play. He had an amazing spring. But while the story is great and what happened yesterday was really cool for people who have not maybe seen that video, I would encourage them to watch it. I just am a little concerned that, again, too much too soon.
And Ken, speaking of concern, a little concern about Jordan Montgomery. We know he's going to miss some time having the TJ surgery again. What does his future look like now? He's 31 years old. Is he going to have anything left in the tank after 2 Tommy Johns?
It's always a question, Danny. Now, there have been pitchers in the last several years who have come back from a second Tommy John. Spencer Strider is doing it right now. But it is something that is not easy. It is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. I am sure that Jordan Montgomery, as competitive as he is, does not want his career to be over, does not even think like that right now. But yeah, it sets him back. And of course, the free agent contract he signed with the Diamondbacks has proven to be nothing short of a disaster. No, not that he intended that or anyone intended that. It just kind of happened that way. So we'll see where this goes, but he'll come back when he does as a free agent, be free to sign any team with any team he wants, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Am I wrong to think that it's weird that Joe Pohlad still wants to be part of the ownership group or part of the team after he's selling it? Or is this something that, somebody kind of stays on from the old regime just in a smaller role?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly that is his desire. Now, we did say that in the story, and certainly I would imagine if he could stay on in some way, yeah, I'll do that. But I don't know that he's going to insist on it or anything like that. So the big thing with the Twins story that I published with Britt Giroli and Dan Hayes yesterday is that they have this debt, $425 million plus in debt, that factors into the sale process. They want a number that is going to enable them to take away a certain amount of money, even with the new owner assuming most or all of the debt. They rejected, or at least kind of snubbed, a valuation of $1.5 billion. We don't know if it was an actual offer, how it exactly came around, but $1.5 billion was in there, and they said no. Forbes comes out today with its franchise valuations and values the Twins at where? $1.5 billion. So I am sure that if you've got $400 million in debt, you'd want the number to be as high as possible so that ultimately your takeaway is as much as it can be. And it's unclear where this is going to go. Maybe a group steps up and gives the Twins what they want. Maybe they settle for a little bit less than they were seeking. Or maybe they don't sell the team right away. All of these possibilities are in play.
What's your favorite prediction for this year? Because we know how much you love predictions and how no fans ever come back and say, wow, Ken, you were so right on that prediction.
Well, first of all, Eric, fans never say that because my predictions inevitably suck. So it's not like I'm sitting there waiting for fans to acknowledge my predictions as being so great. I've got the Braves beating the Rangers in the World Series. I'm sure that's wrong. I'm sure it's not going to turn out that way. But the beauty of this is that in baseball, we don't know what's going to happen. It's my favorite thing about the sport. And you could say, oh, the Dodgers are a lock. No, the Dodgers aren't a lock. The Dodgers, the great mighty Dodgers, knocked out in the 2022 Division Series, knocked out in the 2023 Division Series, nearly knocked out in the 2024 Division Series. So don't tell me that, oh my gosh, this sport, everything is going to play out exactly the way we think. It never plays out exactly the way we think.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.